Guys, welcome back to the channel. Now in this video I'll be talking about how to use automation feature in Excel. So first of all, what is the automation feature in Excel? So Excel recently launched something called automation, or also known as automate, right? And what it is basically, it is a set of scripts. So a script is basically a series of actions or tasks in Excel that can be automated to be executed. Right, so for example, an example of a task or an action is like you create a summation, you create in a table, you create a total in a table, you do a calculation of a subtotal, you add a VAT calculation to a table. You, for example, the header of the table, you make it bold and a blue color in the background. Right, you create a pivot chart for a table. These are all examples of actions or tasks that you can do in Excel. Right, so a script basically allows you to automate all these series of tasks together and be able to do them in one shot or in one click. Right, so you have two different types of scripts. One, you've got the script templates. So script templates are basically ready-made scripts. They come part of Excel or the new version of Excel that you can use to run on your data sets. And I'll show an example how this works. So you have different types of script templates which you can now use. And for example, if you want to be able to identify the blank data in a specific table, right? There's a script ready-made for that. Maybe you want to be able to create a pivot table with specific parameters. There's a script ready-made for that. Okay, so I'll go over some of the examples of script templates, and then two, you have custom scripts. You create your own script based on your own actions or tasks. So a custom script, basically you create the tasks and it gets recorded by Excel, records them, and then it generates a script for those tasks, and then you name the script, and then you can run it on any kind of data set, and you can save it, you can run it in the future, in a future Excel file. Okay, let's see an example of how this works. So first of all, the automate feature. This is a sample Excel sheet. I have a table right here. Okay, I've got a table right here, and it has some blank data, as you can see here, right? So, for example, I want to be able to use a script to identify the blank data in this table. Let's say, for example, you have a large table, over 1,000 rows, and you have to write a script, or you have to write a formula for you to be able to identify and color code the blank data. So now you go to here, automate, and then you click on here at the very bottom, and you go and click all scripts. When you click on all scripts, you'll get this side window right here, the Office Scripts window, which basically has samples. You go click on samples right here, and then these are the sample scripts, the template scripts that are available, which you can use to be able to run it on your data. Okay, so first I'm going to highlight my data, Control A, and then I'll go right here, and I want to say, for example, highlight blank cells. Okay, this is the script, highlight blank cells. It's going to automatically highlight blank scripts. Here's a description of it. The script adds a conditional format to the selected range for highlighted blank cells. Okay, I'll go ahead and click run, and now the script will run. Notice here, now you get the blank data is now highlighted in yellow automatically, just with one click. All right, simple click, and then whenever I put something in it, it changes. If I make it blank again, it goes back to yellow. Okay, so that's a very simple example of a ready-made script. Okay, now let's take a look at using another script, which is a pivot table script. So I have the sample data right here with the country, and the sales, right, for each country. So I want to be able to generate a pivot table. Typically with any kind of pivot table, you have to go and do it manually and go through this different task, next, to be able to generate the pivot table. And if you have multiple sheets of the same data set, you have to create a pivot table on each sheet separately. So how can we use scripts to be able to automate this function? Okay, so we go here to automate, and then again we go here to drop down, and we choose all scripts. And here you'll get the samples. Click on samples, get the samples. So let me just highlight this table right here, Control A, and then I'm going to go and find out where is the create a new pivot table from a table, right? This one right here. So I'll click on it, create a new pivot table from a table. The description, the script creates a pivot table from an existing table. I have an existing table right here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create run. And it will generate the script. The script ran successfully. Okay. Now I go and I see this new sheet created. And it shows me the details right of the pivot table. And I can actually see the numbers. Australia, sum of sales, France, Norway, Saudi Arabia 75,937. I can take a look at it here. I do the summation just to confirm. Saudi Arabia, do the sum 75,937. France, all the France details are here. Is 20096. Did I miss something? And then I go back here and check it. Right? It's right. Okay. Now it automatically generated the slicer pivot table for me. I just want to see Norway. I can see it right here. This is only for Norway. I can see France, only for France. I can see Austria and France side by side if I hit the control button. Norway and France, I hit the control button to choose only those two. And then I'll remove the filter X to see all 4 countries. The sum of sales for each country, right? Now, this is useful because now you can actually run the script. If you have multiple sheets of the same data set, you can run the script one time for each sheet, right? The pivot table, just click, click, click. Instead of configuring the pivot table on every single sheet and going through every single sheet data set and configuring the pivot table. So this is a very useful way for you to be able to save hours and hours of analysis when you're using automations. Okay, so now here, what I want to do is I want to create my own custom script. As we said earlier, there are 2 different types of scripts, sample scripts or custom scripts. So I have this data set right here in the Jan sheet, and I put a link of this file in the description if you want to download it, and you can run and do it and follow the steps accordingly. So I have this basically data, this table. Now this table has a lot of inconsistencies in the data. So let's say I want to change the formatting, I want to fix the numbers and so on. So I'm going to go ahead and create a custom script. I go ahead and click on automate, right? And then I go to new script and go here and create from recording. Okay, create from recording. Click on that. Now here it's recording my script actions, or the actions I'm going to do on Excel. Every single one is going to be recorded on this, and then it will save it as a script, and I'll give it a name which I can use to automate future data sets or future sheets with the same structure. So for example here I'm going to make it in the center. I'll make, for example, this yellow. I'll make the text dark blue. I'll make it bold. Notice here on the right, it's actually recording every single action I did, right, in this script. The bold, set background color, the change indent. Okay, so now I'm going to go here and I want to change the formatting of this data. I hit Control 1 to get the format cells. I'll go to number, I'll make it number, and I want to remove all the decimal places to 0. I'll use a comma separator, and I'll hit OK. Right? Now this looks fine to me. Okay? Now I want to create a sample visual or a chart. So I'm going to click Insert. Let's say what kind of chart I want to create. I'm going to go and choose recommended charts. Instead of going and figuring out which one looks the best, I can go with the recommended chart to save time. Oh, okay, let me select the cells first of all. Control A, recommended chart. It gives me this. Right? So this looks fine to me. I'll go ahead and click OK. And now I have the chart, and now it's generated directly on the sheet. I can see the January sales. I can see by country, the sales by country. And the highest one is obviously Italy. Okay, 66,000. Okay. Now, these are now all recorded in the scripts. Okay, so now I'm going to say, I'm going to click stop, and it will save the script on my OneDrive. I can go here, it has all these different actions, and I'll click on rename. I'll call it script 2, format script 2. All right, I'll hit enter. Now it is saved. This is now saved to my OneDrive account. Okay, now for example, I can go here and I look at the recent. I click on the recent. This is the samples of all the scripts. I click on recent. This is the one I just saved, format script 2. So now I have the same data set in February, and I want to apply the same sort of action, the same set of actions which I just did. I'll just go ahead and highlight the table, Control A, and then I will run the script directly on this data set. So now I'm going to go ahead and click format script 2, hit run, and now it will automatically generate all the formatting which I did for the numbers, for the text, for the column headers, and for the chart directly on this data set. So if you have multiple sheets of the same data set, you can run the same script by simply clicking on the script once instead of doing it once for each different data set or for each different sheet. Now this is a huge advantage because you can also save the script and you can share it with your team members, allowing them to use the same script and run their own analysis and save them hours and hours of time to do it for their own data sets or for their own Excel files. And you can also use the same script for future Excel workbooks or future Excel data sets which you have for different purposes. Okay? I put a link in the description below for this Excel sheet. If you guys can download it, you want to check it out, and you can follow the steps. If you like this video, hit the like and subscribe. And if you have any comments, I'll be happy to answer them. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.